Hey, it's Jason Creel. Recently I had someone ask me to give some thoughts on the different ways you can set up your business for tax purposes. Whether you want to be a sole proprietor, an LLC, or the other that would probably be applicable to a lawn business would be an S corporation. So, I don't think I need to fool anyone thinking that I'm an attorney or an accountant. I'm neither, and I rely on both. But I've had enough conversations with my accountant and done some research to understand at least the basic differences between these three types. So let's just briefly talk about those, and I would encourage anyone who is in the lawn business to do a little research online or talk to an accountant and try to figure out what's going to be best for you. So let's start with sole proprietor. Obviously the easiest one. You simply can go to your town hall, city hall, and get a business license and declare yourself to be a sole proprietor. What that basically means is that you and the business are one. The benefit is how easy it is to set up, which is there's next to nothing to do. The downside is the lack of protection. Like I said, you and your business are one, and so technically, if you have a lawsuit against your business, they can also come for your personal assets as well, because you are one with the business. So that is the easiest. Now, how many times do people get sued in the lawn business? Well, I'm sure it does happen. So, there may be some businesses where that makes sense, or if you're just real small, want to get started in a lawn business and to get in as simply as possible, maybe that works for you. But just understand that that is the risk involved, is that your personal assets are liable. So next would be an LLC, which offers you that level of protection to where your business is separate from your personal assets. So in an event of a lawsuit or something, it's separate. They could take your business assets, but the way I understand it, your personal assets should be protected. Now, I've also had it explained to me that in an LLC, unless you publicize yourself as an LLC, then you're not protected. So what does that mean? Basically, when you use your business name to add LLC to let people know that you are an LLC. So that's important. I try to do that. I'm currently operating as an LLC myself. So that's the main difference. It gives you that extra level of protection. And you do have to file to become LLC. At least I did. I had to file articles of organization with the state to form a separate entity. So anyway. So then the third one being an S corporation. The way I understand it, and again, I'd encourage anyone to do the additional research, but when you're self-employed, you pay self-employment tax. So you're paying, basically, you're being double taxed and paying the FICA double, basically being double taxed. Instead of paying 7.25%, you're actually paying that as the employee, and again paying the employer half of that on your income. So you're paying that extra, 7.25%. Well, the advantage, the way I understand on an S corporation, is basically you can become an employee of your own business. And so I'm Jason Creel. I own my lawn business, but I've hired Jason Creel to be the manager of my lawn business. And so I pay him, let's just say, for example, $50,000 salary. You're allowed to pay yourself a reasonable salary. Well, on that $50,000, you're not being double taxed on that. So if that makes sense, you're not having to pay that extra 7.25% on your actual salary. So you can see how that saves your money. You can't pay yourself $300,000, if you be a big bit, it has to be a reasonable salary. So, whatever is reasonable for what your role is, but it saves you from being double taxed on that amount of your salary. So I think the disadvantages is there's probably, the way I understand it, a little bit more expense in setting up an S corporation as far as paying your accountant or attorney to do that. I think maybe a little more complicated, and I know, at least for me, with being an LLC, and I think S corporation, I mean, you're paying in quarterly taxes, each year on the previous year's income. You're paying quarterly estimates the next year. So anyway, that is a brief overview from a lawn guy, not an accountant, not a lawyer, but for me, I am a LLC, but I do think at one day I may become an S corporation, like I say, to save myself that extra 7.25% on whatever salary I want to pay myself. Hope that makes sense. Talk to an accountant or a lawyer. Thanks.